Simcha, celebration, Simcha, Simcha, celebration of life.
Hello, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm Nikki Wallman. Recently, the Garden Synagogue celebrated its 50th Friday Night Live initiative, during which Golden Globes were handed out to 20 couples who had each notched up more than 50 years of marriage. With more than 1,000 happily married years, these couples clearly represent a rich wellspring of experience from which one can draw inspiration. And of course, the natural question is, what is the secret to a long and happy marriage?
Friday Night Live is a monthly initiative, a program that we started at the Garden Shul over 5 years ago. And its aim is to encourage increased shul attendance, if only just once a month. It's a once-a-month program. And Friday Night Live sees hundreds of members of our community joining us for the Friday night service. And there's the community vibe, the community coming together, and the vibe, the atmosphere. It's just that the chayas is really unbelievable. It's really so special.
We will have been married 54 years.
It's 55 next week.
Next week it'll be 55.
And tell us the secret of 55 years.
Hard work.
He says, yes, dear, and I zip my lip.
I think it was a brilliant idea of yours, Rabbi, really. It isn't often we get any recognition for long-term sentence.
Tell us the secret to over 50 years.
Tolerance, tolerance, and tolerance.
We've had some good advice tonight.
A little bit of silence as well.
Myself personally, I've been married for 7 years, thank God, but my experience is very limited. If you think about adding up the years of marriage experience that those 20 couples have, probably more than 1,000 years of marriage experience. So it's really been so special to listen and to hear from those couples. And I think the one underlying theme that's emerged from these interviews, for me, it's connected to one of the rituals that we do at a Jewish wedding. Just before the chuppah, where the couple stand under the wedding canopy. So there's the ceremony called the bedekin, where the groom veils his bride. And there are different explanations for this practice. And one explanation is that it's an indication that the groom is marrying his bride not only for her external charms, for her looks, but for her inner qualities as well, who she is as a person. But another explanation is that the groom is indicating that he's marrying his bride not only for the things that he knows about, but even those things that are veiled, those things that perhaps may be hidden. You see, when we get married, we know a lot about our partners, and we know a lot about them, we're in love with them, and we get married to them. But as we live together with somebody, the longer we get to know them, there are certain personality traits, certain things that perhaps start emerging that we may not have known beforehand. And when the groom does the veiling ceremony, he's expressing, and the couple are expressing to each other that their commitment and their love for each other are for the entire being, even those things that may come out later.
My mother met him first.
Her mother actually married us. That was how it worked out.
My mother
she was
met
looking
him.
for a nice Jewish boy, and I was the only one left in the copper belt.
Well, we met when we were at school. Jeff went to Weinberg Boys and I went to Weinberg Girls. And he invited me to his matric dance, and I went to the dance with him. That was it, I think.
Yeah.
No, not really, not really. It wasn't just that. Yeah.
Well,
I was second choice, I've got to tell you.
I didn't want anything to do with him, but afterwards we moved into a block of flats where he was staying, and my mother liked him. So she kept inviting him over.
Alice was travelling with her family from Cape Town. I was travelling with my family from Durban, and we happened to meet between Bulawayo and Victoria Falls on the train. I spotted her sitting in the dining compartment just diametrically opposite me, and I immediately clicked with her.
What's kept you going for 55 years? What's the secret?
Force of habit.
A good sense of humour. He tells wonderful jokes, and a lot of patience.
People seem to feel that they love a person when they do all the things that are right for them. They have good points and they've got frailties, and so has each one of us got good points and frailties. So my understanding of love has become to realize that you must tolerate the idea that things that are not so comfortable, you're not so comfortable with your partner, because you like all the good things that is being done by your partner, and yourself is no different to your partner, frailties and strengths. So that, I believe, is love. Both two sides of the story, and that's why you love.
Interviewing these couples and seeing how many of them, or they all, look back on their lives, on their married lives, with such joy and with such pride and such good moments. And yet they'll all tell you, and they've all expressed that they've been, you know, there are the rocky moments, there are the times when it's not always smooth sailing, there are the challenges along the way, and yet they have that commitment to the marriage. It's the shared love that transcends those differences, and they're ready to put the work in, they're ready to put in the effort, and they've put in that effort, and they've put in that work, and they've toiled. And that's really, that after all those years, they can look back and they can celebrate that. But I think that it's that quality of the shared love that's able to transcend those differences that for me has emerged from these interviews, the effort and the work and the toil that goes into the marriages, and ultimately it's worth it in the end.
With divorce rates so high, one often wonders whether the concept of the happy ever after marriage has been lost. Today, a number of couples who've been married for over 50 years explain how commitment and respect for one another have helped their marriages stand the test of time.
I think unless there's a compelling reason to get divorced, I mean, we try to work as hard as we can, and we try to do as much as we can to keep the marriage alive. But there are times when obviously if there's abuse or if there's other problems within the relationship, then it's better for the couple to get divorced. But definitely it's a last resort, and we try to work on a marriage as much as we can. It should always be seen as a last resort.
Years ago, divorce was frowned upon by public around you. Just to be divorced was just no good, bad thing. Whereas today, divorce is automatic and natural. Nobody says it's a bad thing to get a divorce. In the old days, they did.
I think things come too easy to people today. And you see it from children. When they don't get what they want, they just scream and shout. And I think that when people marry and they don't have the proper values or the proper understanding of each other and how to grow with each other, it doesn't work out at the beginning, so that's it. They don't want to try.
I think that there are two reasons. Some people are not prepared to give and take in certain instances. And I also think that people change over the years, and you're not always married to the same person that you get married to.
People don't have any patience, and they know it's easy, we get a divorce. In our time when we got married, it was hard, you struggled, but
you wouldn't think of
Yeah,
divorce.
divorce didn't come into that picture.
Never ever.
It's just a matter of a commitment. You make a commitment, and I think that people of our generation, generally speaking, were more committed. And more committed to making it work.
What makes a marriage last for 50 years is you've got to become a good listener. And I think that's one of the reasons that we've had a good marriage.
Enjoy your companionship and your company.
And nothing is so serious that you can't make compromises.
Accept him. You fell in love with this person. Accept them for who they are and what they are, and give them space to grow and enjoy being together when you can.
Work at it. It doesn't always come easy. Things go wrong, or they seem to go wrong. One doesn't always give up right away.
Stick it out, yes. Yeah. Take care of each other. You must have married for a reason originally that was special.
You know, I don't think it's easy to tell anybody what a secret is, because what suits one family doesn't suit another. But at the very beginning, and I've told this to the children as well when I took them to the chuppah, I said, take the best out of both families and build on that. And that's what we've tried to do.
Well, that brings us to the end of this week's show. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to catch any previous shows you might have missed, you can find them on our website at www.spiritsister.co.za. And of course, we love hearing from you, so find us on Facebook at Spirit Sister Productions. As always, from me, Nikki, and the team, shalom, and have a safe and peaceful week.